Have you heard this story where a lady lost her property and the condo or homeowners association was able to buy it for $3.24, all because she didn't pay her dues? Is that fair? Well, now thankfully some rules are being changed, or at least proposed to be changed, regarding how condo associations and homeowners associations are able to enforce unpaid assessments and unpaid monthly dues. Now, let's talk about this real quick. This is going to be just a really quick video. Homeowner association dues are needed for an association to run properly. You know, they can't have 20% of the people not pay and then expect the other 80% of the people to cover the bill. So there's laws in place where condo associations and homeowner associations are able to impose additional fines, eventually send it to a lawyer, and then put a lien on the property, and then eventually an unpaid lien can get foreclosed on. Now obviously those are not like primary liens. The first liens that come out are going to be the government taxes, then there's going to be the first mortgages, and so on. Depends who registered the lien, who was the first to register the lien. Anyway, it's been pretty unfair in some situations, and condos have gotten a bad reputation for foreclosing on people that maybe could have been resolved in a different way. Now, unfortunately, as an owner, and you don't pay your dues, you're in a situation where you're just embarrassed and you may not want to talk to anyone and you don't know what to do. You might be a retiree with no money to pay a $10,000 special assessment. And then next thing you know, you lose your home that you've owned for 30 years because you can't pay a $10,000 special assessment. That's not fair. So I don't agree that they should be allowed to go that far into it. So now the CAI, the Community Association Institute Board, has basically started talking about changing some of the rules that haven't been changed in a very, very long time, because there's been quite a few headlines that have kind of put homeowners associations and condos associations on blast for doing such things. And I don't blame them for doing it, and I also don't blame the rules for being unfair. At the end of the day, you got to pay where money is due. You signed up to an association, you got to pay it. And now this rule change that the CAI has implemented, all it really does is kind of makes it a point to say, if you're going to foreclose, it absolutely, positively has to be the last option, the last result. There has to be everything else first, including putting a lien on the property. So you can't just go and foreclose on someone without going through the proper steps. Now, with all these problems in Florida's condos, I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this. Think about it like this. If there is a special assessment of $80,000, which is very common because we have some new laws governing condos in Florida, and if you have a lien for $80,000, let's just say, you're like, okay, well, I'll put it on a payment plan, and you do that, and you make a payment plan of $1,000 a month for 80 months or 90 months after interest is added, and then maybe your spouse dies, maybe the income earner gets fired, maybe something else, some other financial struggle happens. Well, you stop paying that after 55 months, and you still owe just a little bit to it. If you don't pay it, they can foreclose on you. And that's not necessarily fair, but the CAI's goal is to make it fair for both sides. It's not just about representation of the owners. It's about representation of both sides to make it fair and equitable so that the condos and homeowner associations can run and keep going forward with, daily course of business, while protecting some of the people that might be going through some financial hardships or maybe disagreements within the association rules and votings and so on. So with all of the stuff that's changing in the state of Florida, I think we're going to have a lot more of people, homeowners, who end up falling behind or not agreeing with the special assessments, not paying, and starting the foreclosure process on their condos only because of their association dues not being paid. What do you think? Have you seen anything like this? Do you know of any condos I should look into where there are those problems, where people have been foreclosed because they just straight up disagree on the payments that are due?